Hello everyone, welcome to today's video. It's not skate related or a Q&A. I lied about that. I don't know, maybe I'll do it later. But today I want to do something different. I want to talk about something that I really love. So if you want to see skate related videos, I suggest you click out of this video and go watch something else by someone else or by me. But yeah, I want to talk about one of my favorite comic books, because why not? My YouTube channel, I get to do whatever I want. And also I mean, what's bad about talking to strangers about something you like? Someone ought to care, right? But yeah, I'm probably just gonna review one of the 3 books in this video, because okay, so one of my favorite comic books is Sweet Tooth. It's by Jeff Lemire, and yeah, it's a great story. It's 3 books. I think it's actually more than 3, but I only have the 3 books because book 3 has the best ending that I've ever read. And I don't want to ruin it by reading, something else. Although I've already did, because they rebooted Sweet Tooth and it's alright. It's not not ideal, but it's there. So, but yeah, anyway, book 1. I'm not gonna review it. I'm not gonna be oh, this is 5 out of 5, 4 out of 5. Cause I'm not a book critic, I'm probably just gonna summarize it for you and talk about it and just, but yeah. Sweet Tooth book 1. Oh, background about this book, so it can make sense. So in this little world, there's this disease pandemic thing going on where everyone ends up dying because but yeah, they think it's because of these human animal hybrids. As you can see, the main character, Gus, he's half deer, half human, half boy. No, their parents aren't a deer and a man. It's not like that. It's just you'll see. But yeah. So people are dying because of these humanoid, human hybrid things, and the hybrids aren't dying. I'm sorry. Okay. So the story starts off with Gussie and his dad. They live in a cabin in the forest. They're sleeping in a bunk bed. Gussie's having a nightmare. He's seeing some blue eyes, 2 blue eyes staring right at him. There are dogs barking. But yeah, anyway. So yeah, he's having a nightmare and his dad's he looks really scared. He looks like he knows that he's gonna die because, the disease. So yeah. Gussie wakes up the next day, and then he goes outside of their cabin, close to the fence, because there's cabin, and then there's woods, and there's this fence, and he goes near the fence even though his dad told him not to go past the fence. He didn't go past it, but he went near it, so it's and he finds a candy bar there. So he goes back to the cabin, and his dad's where'd you get this? The candy bar. And he's I'm sorry, it was on the floor. I just and so the dad's oh, I guess that's fine, but don't you dare go past the fence. So yeah, anyway, his dad ends up dying. Spoilers if you're gonna read this book. This video has a bunch of spoilers, but yeah, his dad ends up dying. Gussie buries him in the forest, and yeah, he sees a deer, and since he's like half deer, half person, he's like, they're just like staring, they're just making eye contact, like, am I that? Like, is that what it means? Like, they have the antlers, like, you know? And then these two men hunters shoot the deer as Gus was like staring at it, and oh my god, one of them, he's like I could have sworn it was one of them hybrids. Yes, I give them like little country accents because like if you look at like the wording and stuff, like it kind of seems like they speak with a country accent. So yeah, they shoot the deer and then they come by, and then Gussie's like, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. So he like runs off, and then they come back, they're like, I could have sworn it was one of them hybrid deers. And he's like, and then the other one's like, I think you're lying, like da, da, da. And then like they spot Gus, and then they're like, well, look what we have here. It's one of them hybrids. And so Gussie's like, I don't know what to do. Like, like, you know, he's freaking terrified because he just saw a deer die. But yeah. And then they like taunt him and stuff. They're like, ooh, we're gonna sell this little hybrid. We're gonna get so much food. And then Gussie's like, what is happening? And then as the two hunters are talking and taunting him, boom, one of them gets shot in the head. And then the other one's like, oh god. And then the person who shot him, the big man, Jepperd, who's another main character of the story, he comes in and he's like, God. You know, like, God ain't gonna help you. And then he's like, I don't see no God here. Like, oh, he means business. He means business. But yeah, he's like, look, man, I'm sorry, I don't want any trouble. And Jepperd, the big man, he ends up like, I don't give a fuck, you try to hurt him, and like whatever. And he basically ends up killing the other hunter. And so Gussie, like, he runs away to the cabin, and he's all scared. And then Jepperd follows him to the cabin, grabs him by the one of the antlers, and like they talk and stuff. And then he's like, it's not safe around here no more. And Gussie's like, but Papa told me never, my dad told me never to leave the cabin, etc., etc. But Jepperd's like, it's not safe here no more. We gotta go. We gotta leave. I know a safer place. And Gussie's like, I don't know. My daddy told me never to trust strangers. But he ends up going with Jepperd because he's the big man and he just saved his life. So it's like, I don't know. Kind of seems like maybe I should go with him. Like, clearly it's not that safe because there are two hunters, and you know. So he goes with the big man, Jepperd. And so he has a horse. They're riding on the horse. They're like riding. Oh yeah, there's like they made like a little pit stop so they could sleep, and then some wild animal people things come and they hurt Mr. Jepperd, the big man. And so Gussie like took him to like a barn or something, and then they like, oh, all right, the sun's up, let's go, like we gotta go, we gotta keep moving to this safe place that Jepperd said. But anyway, so yeah, they kept moving. Then they find this city, and like they thought they heard something, like, you hear that, you know, like that, you know, those vibes. So they hear the noise. They like go to where the noise was at, and then they find this girl. Her name was Becky. Her name was Becky. She's on a bed. She's like, you know, wearing like, you know, lingerie, and she has like bunny ears. She's not a hybrid though. She's not a hybrid. And she looks like she's like 15, and Jepperd's like, what the hell is going on here? And so some guy comes and he's like, what, you like which one, like an older one, a younger one or something? And turns out they went into this house where they, you know, sell women's bodies and like, you know, teenage girls and stuff. And it's like, why would you do that to Jepperd? like this big man, he's not gonna fall for this crap. He's a good, honest man. Is he though? But he's not the type of man to like do this stuff. And so Jepperd ends up opening a big ass can of whoop ass, and he like fights the like man in charge and stuff, because the man in charge, he saw Gussie and he was like, oh wait, what do we have here? A hybrid. I could get a whole lot of money and food for this fool. And Jepperd's like, that's my kid. Like, I'm protecting him. I'm taking care of him. He's mine. And Gussie's just kind of there like, are y'all fighting for it? No, they're not doing that. But yeah, Jepperd's like, he's mine. Like, I'm protecting him. He's with me. And so they end up fighting, and Jepperd wins, of course. He kills the guy, and then like the girls, they're like, oh my god, like what do we do now? I don't know what to do. Like there's nothing else for us. Like this world, like it's a pandemic. Like I don't know what to do. Like, can we go with you? And Jepperd's like, nah, I'll work alone. Like, okay, whatever. So yeah, it's Becky and this other woman, older woman. They're like, fine, I don't need you. I can survive on my own. And Jepperd's like, fine, bitch, the fuck? Like, bye. So they went their separate ways, and Jepperd and Gussie, they end up going back to their little adventure, their little trail to this safe place. And along the way, they come across like some more like evil people where they like block the road, and Jepperd's like, ugh, kick some more ass. Like, so they end up on the horse, and then they're like pa, 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 on everyone so they can go through. And so they did. They went through, and then finally they come to this safe place. It's not safe. Jepperd's a liar for that one. So yeah, so they get to the safe place and they get off. Jepperd is like, alright Gussie, here's the safe place. And Gussie's like, like, you know. And so these like men come out, and they're like, well, look what Jepperd brought us, or whatever. And they take Gussie, they like cover him, they like pull him back and stuff. And Gussie's like, what's going on? What are they doing, big man? Like, what are they doing, Jepperd? And like they take him, they put a sack over his head, they throw him into this barn, and Jepperd and the scientists, they like talk amongst themselves about some, I don't know, whatever. And so then we like, the story goes on like it splits into like Jepperd's point of view and Gus's point of view, but also Jepperd's background, like why he did all this. And we get to find out why he lied and tricked Gussie. But yeah, Gus is in this barn with a sack over his head, and then like they take the sack off, and turns out he's like among like other hybrid, half animal, half kids. And this is where we meet one of my favorite characters. One of my favorite characters, his name is Bobby. He's like half beaver, half boy, and there's this girl, Molly, half pig, half girl. And then there's like this, I think half dog hybrid, and like a horse hybrid. But yeah, Bobby is one of my favorite ones because he's adorable. The way he talks is like, is really adorable. But yeah, so Gus is like, where am I? What is this? What's going on? And then he's like, my name's Gus, where am I? Like, you know. And then Bobby's like, oh, me Gus. No, me Bobby, you Gus. And like, he's like, Gus is like, okay, like, you ain't gotta say it like that. Like, I know that, but like, why are you saying it like that? And then Molly's like, oh, he's not, like, he, you know, they never really taught him how to talk. He kind of like he knows and he tries, But you know, he's not like us. Like, you know, we know how to talk and read and stuff. Like, they didn't teach him. And then Molly's like, oh, this is where like the military is at, where they like do experiments on us so they can find a cure. And Gus is like what? Like, I didn't choose. Like, they said it was a safe place. Like, what the frick, you know? And so yeah, that's going on. And while that's going on, they start talking about Jepperd, like his side of the story. As it turns out, he turned in Gus to the scientist for a reason. And that reason is the scientists have his wife's bones. Because once upon a time, during this disease stuff, pandemic stuff, Jepperd had a wife, a pregnant wife. And they were trying to survive on their own, finding food, just trying to survive this little pandemic. And they were doing fine. But since she was pregnant, you know, she kind of needs doctors or like, because like, there were no doctors anymore. Like, everything was like the Walking Dead type of shit. And like, she was ready to pop, and then they were like surrounded by like evil people that were trying to kill her, kill them, or like take the baby, because you know she was pregnant, and they knew that like since she's pregnant she's gonna have one of those hybrid kids. But then some scientists came and like shot the evil. They were evil, but so are the scientists. So yeah, the scientists were like, oh, like we have a safe place, we can take care of your wife, we can take care of the baby and all that, you know, the safe place. And the wife was like, oh, come on, Jepperd, like, come on, we have to do this, like, I'm pregnant, like, I need this help. And Jepperd's like, I don't know, like, I guess since you're pregnant and all. And so like, yeah, so they went with the scientist. And then the scientist, like, she was ready to pop, and as it turns out, she died. She passed away. Because, you know, she was pregnant, and, like, there weren't that many, like, you know, supplies and stuff. Because, you know, they're living in this world where, like, electricity isn't a thing anymore. And, like, technology isn't that good anymore. But, yeah. So she dies, and according to the scientists, so did the baby. So yeah, the baby is also dead, you know. But they kept the wife's bones and like threw Jepperd out, and they're like, if you don't find me a hybrid, like an actual hybrid, you will never see your wife's bones. Something like that. I don't really quite remember. But yeah, so that's what Jepperd was doing. He was just like trying to find some hybrid so like he can take him or her to the scientist so he can get his wife's remains, because, you know, like, that's his wife. He wants to bury like his wife's bones like near where they used to live and would have had such a happy life and stuff. But yeah, his life was pretty sad. And like, while they're doing all the flashbacks and stuff, like, he's going down alcoholism, you know, he's trying to like repress those memories and stuff. But then he's like, ah, shit, here we go again. Now I gotta save Gus, because now I feel bad. Now I feel like my wife wouldn't have wanted this. So then he's on his merry way to go get Gus. And while he was having all this realization and stuff, we go back to Gus. And Gus, they were starting to like not do experiments on him. They weren't really experimenting on him. They were like trying to get to know him, like where he came from, like how his parents were, like if he remembered his mom or something, because Gussie never met his mom. He only ever lived with his dad. So yeah, so there's this like doctor, this main doctor. He was like, he would always take him so he can like psychoanalyze him. And this one time he like hypnotized him or something, so like they could go back to where Gussie lived in the cabin and like try to like if there's any hints or clues of his mom. And Gussie just remembered like his dad giving some like sermon, like preaching or something, reading the Bible or something. And then through like he was going through his books and stuff, and he found a picture of his mom, cuz like it was like all in his memory. And yeah, he found a picture of his mom, and I think somehow the doctor saw it, even though it was like in Gus's brain. And it's like like what do you mean, he saw like this Gus's brain? Like, did he go inside his brain or something? Like, it's a comic, things like that happen. But yeah, he ends up seeing the picture of his mom. Or was it just a pregnant lady? But yeah, and I guess the doctor like wants to go back to Gus's cabin to like search his dad's books and Bibles and journals and all that stuff, because apparently like his dad was writing about the end of days or something like before, or like I don't know. But it kind of seemed like his dad knew what was going on and like what was happening. So yeah, the doctor wanted to like see and stuff. And then they end up like getting into an argument, and like the doctor opened up Gus's shirt and stuff to like so he can like analyze his body and stuff, and as it turns out, Gus has a belly button, and none of the other hybrids that they had ever experimented on had one. And it's like, huh, like how come you have a belly button and all of them don't? And it kind of seems like you were born before this pandemic. Like what do you mean you're like 13? The pandemic was like 10 years ago. Like so the doctor's thinking, huh, maybe Gus is the first hybrid. Like maybe he's the one that started this all. So that's why like he ends up like psychoanalyzing him and like trying to get into his memories to see if his dad knew anything, because you know Gus he's still a kid, so he's not really gonna know all the secrets and stuff. So he was like, maybe his dad knows. But yeah, they end up fighting, and I guess they threw Gus into some cage and stuff. And then Jepperd, he comes in, and there is the guard, the one guard, he's like the main villain's little brother. And he's actually pretty nice. Like he's pretty cool. Like he doesn't really care for this stuff. He's like why are we doing this? Like there's no point. Like it's not, they're just kids. So he's like pretty cool, and he wants to like free them and stuff. And like so he gives Gussie a little chocolate bar, and Gus takes it, and like they threw him in a cage. But then we see Jepperd, and he's like he storms in, and he's like, all right, I'm ready to open a can of whoop ass. Like, where are they? Where are my kid? Where's my kid? Or like, where are my kids? And he went to the like the guard, the cool guy, and he's like, oh, they're just in there. Like, don't worry, I'll help you, cause like he doesn't, they're kids. Like he sees them as like kids, so he's like, I'll help you. He'll help Jepperd. So what's the plan? And Jepperd's like, I'm killing everyone. So it's like, oof, war is about to like happen. But yeah, and then the last part of book 1 is just like the kids, and like Gussie's in the cage, and it's dark, and then like the light kind of turns on, and he sees that he's with Bobby and Molly, and he had a chocolate bar with him, and he shares it with the two. And it just like it ends with Gussie like hugging Molly and Bobby, and like, we'll be safe, like, don't worry. like we're gonna be safe. And it's just like, oh. And that's just book one. Book one. Book two, it's like, it's pretty good. This whole thing is pretty good. Like, I'm telling you, Sweet Tooth, it's, oh, and by the way, Jepperd, the big man, he calls him Sweet Tooth because, like, Gussie he likes chocolate. He has a sweet tooth. So yeah, I guess that's the end of book one. Well, like, my interpretation of book one, because most of the things I said, like, their quotes weren't their quotes. It was just like what I remember and stuff. So yeah, I might make a video for book two tomorrow if you guys are interested in, like, does Jepperd actually save him, like what happens next and stuff. Hopefully this video does good. If not, I don't care. I'm still gonna do part two because I don't want to leave it open-ended like that. So yeah, thank you guys for watching. Please subscribe, like, comment, share, etc. Alright, thank you. Have a great day.